All right.
Wow.
Yes. Welcome to CSI October edition. We are so excited that you are all here and that you um, carved a little time out of your busy school week to visit with us. We've got some interesting things to cover. A lot of it were things that we polled you in September to find out what were your hot topics. And I hope that our topics today meet your needs based on the feedback we got from you last month. Real quick again, if you haven't signed in, please type your name and your school in the chat box. And if you haven't downloaded the handout, really quick, I've put the link in the chat box a couple of times. So if you'll just copy that and click the link, it'll force you to make a copy so you have your own and you can type your notes. So please feel free to do that the very first couple of slides as we get started. Today, our topics, as I mentioned earlier, are hot topics. Angela Henry is going to be doing a great presentation about virtual teaching. We also are going to show you where our FAQ is. Some of you may have seen it during New Teacher Summit, but we keep adding questions to it, so we want to make sure you know where that is. We also, Sunny shared with us a who does what last week. We've updated that and changed it, and I want to show you where that is later on, and also some other great resources for technology with our Teacher Tech YouTube page. I'm not going to read the rest of this, but we are going to cover, of course, our NIET. We're going to cover some more of our Harry Wong book study we did from New Teacher. And we have some information for curriculum. That was another hot topic, but it kind of went with our curriculum, so I wanted to keep it there. And then just some announcements and other just housekeeping things that are going on. So we are going to keep moving. Angela Henry is our Executive Director of Curriculum and Instruction. She is over all of the awesome curriculum people that you have probably met via Zoom or maybe even seen in person somewhere. I don't know if they've been out to your school or not, but she is going to share with us a presentation, and I am going to be Vanna for her. So if you will be patient with us, and we'll make sure that we get all the information. So Angela, take it away.
Yeah. Can everybody hear me? Got me, Cassie?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think I am going to go ahead and share. It says stop sharing the screen of others. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
Oh, okay.
And then when we come to the video, I'll share. I mean, I'll ask you to kind of take it back over.
Okay. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. How's everyone doing, first of all? If you're doing great, give me a thumbs up. Let me see who's. I don't see any thumbs up. No thumbs?
Gary, I'm seeing thumbs, Janya, Byron.
Oh, okay. Okay. I got you.
There's some physical thumbs, and then there's some emoji thumbs. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay, good. All right. Well, today is just what Cassie said. One of the things that we've heard around the district is just this struggle that people are having right now with, technology and trying to navigate kids who are at home, kids who are face to face. And so what this presentation is really just, I don't want you guys to come away today thinking this is an exemplar. We don't necessarily like to say, here's an exemplar, everybody's got room for growth. But what we do want to show you are real teachers, real time. The teacher we'll show you today is a phenomenal teacher, but she is also always seeking feedback. So our goal is not necessarily to say, that was supposed to be a perfect, because we're gonna, at the end, we're actually gonna critique a little deeper and come up with some coaching for her. And she has asked for that feedback. So I just want to thank Shyla Johnson. I know she's not here today, but really it takes courage to put yourself out there and say, yeah, you can use my class. And I know you guys have to do that all the time with your videos. So I just want to give that disclaimer. We are going to watch a video of a teacher today. But we're not by any means saying that everything is perfect. She's on the 4th day of school. So we were out videoing and just captured some of what she was doing with 6-year-olds, which is why this is exciting to me. So the purpose for today is really, again, not to look at an exemplary lesson, but really to analyze the strategies that this teacher is using to navigate. She's got face-to-face kids and she's got some virtual kids. And she's doing those things simultaneously. So we just want to kind of see what her strategies were, and then maybe give her some feedback on some additional strategies. We've learned a lot since the 4th day of school. And as I would do with my students, as I'm sure that you do with your students at home, before we get started, we always want to say, look, guys, here are the tools that we're going to be using today, and let's make sure everybody knows how to use them. I'm sure you're very familiar with the Zoom whiteboard and the annotation tools. Raise your hand. We've already tried that one. We may have time to go out in some breakout rooms today. And then of course the chat feature, I see everybody's already using those. So again, just want to model for you what we would hope is happening with our students, because we don't always want to get in the middle of the lesson and try to get them to do things that they're not prepared to do. And then I think Cassie, you sent them the guided note taker, and that link is in the chat. So if you have not had a moment to download that, you will need that today. So let's start there. Let's say, make sure everybody knows how to use the Zoom whiteboard and the annotation feature. Does everybody see view options at the top of your screen? And if you do, can you click on your annotation? And I'd love for you to just draw a picture of your mood today. What kind of mood are you in? A happy mood. I look like a jack-o'-lantern. This one's mine over here. I'm going to draw a circle around it. Oh, somebody's sad. Turn that frown upside down. Look, I'm going to fix you there. Okay. I see somebody stuck their tongue at me. Okay, so I think we can handle the Zoom whiteboard. If we get to a place where we're going to need to use that today, we'll definitely use that as an engagement strategy if we have time. But I did want to just kind of point that out, that that's a great icebreaker, a great way for you to get your students engaged. I know the teacher, even the teacher in this video, as you'll see, she said that's one of the things she struggles with while they're doing independent work. Letter sounds, whatever, how could she get her other kids involved? They were writing the word mat. I can easily do that here. I can tell my students to choose any of your favorite colors and go up here. Someone's sick. Have we been isolated? What are we doing with all the sickness here? But that is definitely one way to engage your students. But again, before we get started with not our lesson today, somebody's tired. Duh. I wanted to just make sure that we all are familiar with the tools. And again, just because I want to make sure that we are also doing that with our students. We don't ever want to jump into a lesson and not give them a little coaching around, hey, we're going to be using these things today, and this is what you're going to have to do. So we've used our, somebody's annotating on my slide. That's lovely. I'll go ahead and leave that there because I like it. So we've used our annotation tools and we've used our Zoom whiteboard. So I know if we get to a place in this presentation where I'm ready for you to use those tools, you know how to do that. We've already used the raise your hand feature. We haven't used the breakout rooms, but there's not really a lot you need to know about that, just that we may break out into some rooms today. I don't know how many people are on the call, but we may have that feature as well and in the chat. So the guided note taker, somebody typed on the slide, I am tired. Should look something like this. If you have not, again, downloaded that, please do so, because you're going to be asked to watch a video and then just think about what's happening with Ms. Johnson's class. All right, let's go ahead to the next slide. All right, so in the agenda for today, we're going to do a couple of things. One, we're going to review the first quarter goals. We said in the first 9 weeks as a district, and we'll just be very transparent, we will really consider it a win if teachers are doing a couple of things well, and I'm going to tell you what those things are, and I'm sure you've heard them already. And then we're going to analyze some virtual best practices. We're going to observe a teacher, establishing some beginning of the year routines and procedures for her face-to-face and virtual students. We do have a couple of teachers that we could look at, but today we're only going to observe one video for the sake of time, but that's basically what we're going to be doing today. Does anyone have any questions so far? Somebody says, I don't know how to get the Zoom whiteboard. It should have been. So Cassie, can you just kind of take notes of some of the things we might need to review if we get into a place where we're going to be using the whiteboard? You're muted, Cassie.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, talking away. Yeah, no, we're making some notes. We'll review
Okay.
that.
Yeah, because that may be something we need to do a couple of how-tos a little deeper.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that'll be great. Okay. Before we get started, I want you to throw something in the chat box for me. In the chat box, list a few things that you'd like to learn today. So, or it doesn't even have to be today. And I know you've done a little survey and all of that, but as you're thinking about what are the things you really struggled with today in real life, if we could help solve a problem for you, what would that be? Now, we don't have the authority to change salaries or anything like that, but somebody put Zoom whiteboard, definitely can help you with that. Seems like a couple of people. Management of time and grading. Yeah, definitely can help with that. We've got some great sessions around those. So doing all face-to-face. So it looks like everybody's got a little different take on their needs. Students actually getting on the Zoom and participating. That has been a struggle. We've seen that trend across the district as well. So. And then maintaining the flow with virtual students in conjunction with traditional. That's what we'll be looking at today, is seeing how Ms. Johnson did that, staying on the Zoom, linking daily assignments and motivating students. Cassie, you're getting all this?
Yeah, yes, we are.
Great. Okay, so Cassie's going to take down all of the.
And I also will copy the chat. And so, yeah.
That will be awesome. And then we can kind of work out from there and build some sessions around some of that learning.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's jump right into, and I know this is abrupt, but we only have so much time this evening, and I want to make sure that we get a chance to get deep into what's happening with Ms. Johnson. And so let's jump into those first quarter goals. And so the district started out way back in really July, saying, okay, if teachers are going to teach virtually, this is completely new. They've got kids at home, they're going to have kids face to face. What are some things that what's realistic? And so this is what the district set out to, if we are considering ourselves to be successful as a collective group of people, 39,000 students, 3,000 teachers, our hope would be that every single teacher by the end of the first 9 weeks would at least know how to schedule a Zoom, have it ready for virtual students, and implement the following things. Make sure you know how to mute, unmute, turn off the video, share your screen, and then maybe some basic tools in Zoom. And then the Canvas basics. Our goal was to make sure that everyone knew how to build, of course, build your course, but build a homepage that makes sense. It makes it easy for kids to access lessons. So when they open your homepage, and you can just kind of take a visual image of your homepage. If I were to go to your homepage today, and I'm a student, when I open it, do I know where to go to find out what I'm learning today? Do I know what you're going to ask me to do today? How am I going to learn it? And do I know how you're going to assess me? Like, what is the work that I'm going to have to, what's the product? How will you and I know that I've learned it? And so as you can see, those first quarter goals, now I believe most of our teachers have well surpassed. It's amazing at the things that we're seeing when we go into the classroom. They're using Nearpod, Cami, all of these different tools. And really, if we're being quite honest with you, we said as a collective group, look, if we can get everyone doing these things that are on this screen really well, and they've mastered these things, then we feel good about it. And then we move into the next 9 weeks and start really working on those Nearpod, those Cami, those Zoom tools that are more advanced, like the whiteboard and the, the breakout rooms and all of that. But again, you guys have been, I think the district, the teachers in the district have surpassed these goals that we had for them. So I want to get your feel on this, and you can annotate on this slide if you would like. But does knowing these goals, I don't know how many people have seen these goals, but does this help or does this make you nervous? Give me a smiley if you feel like I can do these things right now, and maybe a straight line face if you feel like I'm not sure I'm there yet. And you can just annotate directly on the slide.
Lots of smiley faces in the chat.
Oh, and they're on it, yeah. Okay. So everybody gets an A. We are nearing the end of the 9 weeks. You've already mastered the goals. That was your, if we had to say, these are my standards, being quite honest with you, this is what we said. We have to get everybody doing these things well, because the next phase of learning is really going to be about how to engage in all of those advanced tools, those intermediate tools that are located within Canvas. And you guys have been, of course, so deep into those tools that, again, I think you've surpassed where we are, where we thought we might be, which is exciting. All right, so in thinking about that, though, as we have been out observing classrooms, we know that our teachers are struggling with a few things. And one of the things that they have said is a couple of things that we heard from today as well. I've got virtual students at home. I've got kids who are face-to-face. I don't know how to engage everybody at the same time and help them feel like they're part of the group. And so as we prepare to observe this lesson, I want to give you a context as we observe Ms. Johnson. And again, we're not here to judge Ms. Johnson. We want to definitely give the disclaimer that, every teacher's class is a lab. And so there's always things that we could do better, things that she does phenomenally. But the scenario is this: you're going to watch a short video clip from a first grade teacher's classroom, Ms. Johnson. She has virtual students. She also has face-to-face students in her classroom. As you view the lesson, keep the following in mind. This is the 4th day of school. This is day 4. So she's still getting some routines and procedures in place, but she's gotten some things going. They've been out since March 13th. And this is also after being out for 2 days for a hurricane. So Ms. Johnson is on day 4 of school. She's been hit with a hurricane, and kids have been out of school for almost 6 months, or a little over 6 months. The second thing to keep in mind is you're going to be observing the beginning of class, and she's going to get into the lesson, and this will be sort of the video is kind of clipped out throughout the lesson. And the students are all about the same age. They're all about 6 years old. And so pay attention to the strategies that she's using to engage her virtual students and her face-to-face students. And keep in mind, again, Ms. Johnson you'll see her repeat herself a lot. She'll say, give me 100, give me 100. And she's doing those kinds of things intentionally because these are 6-year-olds. And so you'll see a lot of repetitive reinforcing of routines and procedures. I definitely want to call that out as well. And then pay attention to how she set up the structures so that both the face-to-face and the virtual learning students have access to the learning. So that gives you sort of some context of what you're about to see. If you would right now, take out your guided note taker because you're going to need that. And you're going to ask yourself these questions as you go through the video. How does Ms. Johnson know when the virtual students are coming in, and how does she greet them? How does she make them feel welcome when they first come in? But also, how does she know they're coming in? So you'll have to listen carefully for that. And then how does she engage her virtual friends? So is there something that she's doing? And again, this is day 4, so she's literally just meeting a lot of these little 6-year-olds. And then given what we see and hear students saying and doing, what routines and procedures has she already been addressing in the first 4 days of school? And then the next question, what does Ms. Johnson use in order to monitor student work? And then what are some ways that she can enhance? So you're going to give her some advice, and I promised her that I would share the feedback that she gets from this session. So I would love for everybody to truly think about that feedback that you're going to give her. And this is how we learn together. And I hope that you guys will be willing to share some of your videos as well. The other thing is there are some structures that she has in place that you may already want to try. And then identify some things that she could also, some more things that she could put into place to kind of enhance what she's already doing. So we're going to answer these questions as you go through the video. And Cassie, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and take over now since your video is playing sound. And I'll stop my share. And you're muted, Cassie. I'm going to unmute you. Okay. I see her lips moving, but I don't hear you.
Okay. Can you see the first grade virtual?
I do.
All right, I'm gonna hit play.
What Ms. Johnson demonstrates in this video is how to establish routines and procedures for her virtual friends and for her face-to-face students.
Y'all want them flat? When you get to Canvas, click on the clock. Some of you are in the classroom library. Click on the clock. And who remembers the symbol for my class? What's our symbol? You forgot our symbol? It's the what? It's the books. Click on reading language arts. Click on our books. And now I'm not going to walk you through the rest. I know you can do it. I know you can do it. Click on assignment and go to our work for today. My turn. It's my turn. So wait, it's my turn. Is today Monday? No. Is today Monday? No. Today is not Monday. Is today Tuesday? No. Is today Wednesday? Hey, what color should we click on? Green. Ariana, I love how you're navigating so quick and quietly. I owe you. After lunch. Cassie, I owe you. Josue, I owe you after lunch. Remember, we have our side and we have Miss Renato's side. So then on our side, are we going to join the live Zoom lesson in class? No, we are not at home. We are going to join the Nearpod. So go ahead and join our Nearpod lesson for today.
Ms. Johnson hears a chime that lets her know her virtual friends are coming in, and she welcomes them. What is important to note is that she is only in the 4th day of school. Notice how students are already familiar with Canvas and Nearpod. It is amazing what she has been able to accomplish with 6-year-olds in just 4 days.
If you're signed in on a device from the school, please go ahead and change your name while we're getting everyone else set up. Good morning, Carter. Hello again, Jeremiah. Okay, my friends that are at home, go ahead and join the nearby lesson. I see that we have 6 friends in already. Alayla's here, Jeremiah's here. I see Carter. Casting. Remember, my friends in class, you have to click the blue button so I know you're in. You have to click the blue button so I know you're in. The join lesson button, Aiden. If you see your name on the board, then you just need to wait on the lesson to start. If you don't see your name on the board, you need to raise your hand for help. I have Vanessa. Aiden, your name isn't up there yet. Hello, go ahead and sign into the Nearpod. Who else do I have from home? We have Jeremiah. I only have 8 friends in, and I should see more than 8. I should see more than 8. Hey, Aubrey, welcome to class. Go ahead and get into the Nearpod. I'm going to start in about 2 more minutes. iPad flat. Just wait on me to start. Okay, all of my traditional friends are in. All of my friends are in. I only need my virtual friends to go ahead and log in. I have 11. I'm waiting on 5 more friends. Hurry, scurry.
It takes about 7 minutes for all students to get logged in. We know this is longer than she would like, but again, this is only day 4. Notice in the next segment how she engages her virtual friends. She will invite them to pronounce sounds as she prepares for the Nearpod.
Last sound is say. Very good.
Ms. Johnson engages virtual students by asking them to repeat sounds. Listen to Carter and Jeremiah from home.
My friends at home, are y'all allowed to unmute? There you are, Carter. Can you say, Jeremiah, can you say, very good, Jeremiah. Those are all of our sounds for today. Now we're going to practice, it's my turn. We're going to practice writing those sounds. Who remembers what I call those lines? What are those lines called? The top one is called the headline. And one with the dashes is called the belt line. And the one at the bottom is called the shoe line.
Watch how Ms. Johnson models for her virtual and face-to-face students. All students can see her model because she has shared her screen and has it projected. Virtual friends can see it on their screens at home because she has enabled screen sharing, and face-to-face students can see it because it is projected.
G. And what's the other type of letter we can write? A lowercase g. I'm going to show you how to write both of those letters. Okay, when I write an uppercase G, I start at a little bit below the hat line. And I go around, I touch the hat line, I come down, and remember my board is a little fidgety. I go under, well, on the shoe line. Let me erase that. That is not a good example. That is not a good example. Let me erase that. So I'm going to come a little bit under. It's my turn. It's my turn. And when it's my turn, I'll log on. I'm going to start a little bit under the hat line. I need 100%. I need 100%. I'm going to start a little bit under the hat line, touch the hat line, curve around. I'm going to keep going past the belt line and make a big curve and then go shoot, right across the belt line. When I make my lowercase g, when I make my lowercase g, did I pick up my pencil? I did not, no. I'm going to make my lowercase g, I'm going to start a little bit underneath the, what line? The belt line. I'm going to start a little bit underneath the belt line. I'm going to curve around, touch that shoe line, come back up. Don't pick up my pencil, come back down, curve around, and boop, I'm finished. I need you to pick your favorite color and write me an uppercase G and a lowercase G. Write me up. Oh. I see one of my friends has already written their G's.
Miss Johnson's class is in the first week of school and has already moved toward mastering major milestones. She has enabled students from home to easily Zoom in, and she has been able to model and provide feedback for all students by using basic Canvas features. If this is what she's been able to do in just 4 days, we are excited to see her class after a few weeks.
All right, so the video was shaky. I feel a little woozy. That was our director of director of teaching and learning. And again, we always want these to just be, this is real life. We go in classrooms, we'll bring a phone, video, and we hope to use what we collect. So I want to do something now in terms of letting you guys have a discussion. And I'm gonna let's see if I can pull this back. And what I would love to do is for you guys to, one, just take a couple of minutes and finish your questions, because you are gonna be having a discussion in just a moment. So let's take about 2 minutes and we'll just kind of pause there. I don't know, Cassie, if you want to pause the recording, but just a couple of minutes and see if we can give them some time to finalize the answers to those questions so they can get ready for a discussion. Thanks, Cassie.
Sorry.
There are so many things that this is the yeah, hey, this is real life. But given what we see and hear students saying and doing, what routines and procedures? I know we haven't talked about this as far as virtual routines and procedures, but just routines and procedures in general. These kids have come in, they know where things are. How is this possible with just being 4 days of school? So what has she already gotten established with her students? What routines and procedures do you see that she has set up? Where do we click on every day? How to sign into Nearpod. These are babies. How to use Canvas. You heard her at the beginning say Canvas. Everybody say Canvas. And then she tells them how to properly log in and navigate Canvas. She pulls up daily assignments. She's definitely had to practice that. That doesn't happen. You know, research shows that with little ones, that doesn't happen by just telling them what to do. They're not like middle school students. They know the expectations because she has set the expectations, and she kept stopping. You saw her stop. You didn't get to see the whole video. We were there about an hour. I bet she stopped 20 times in that hour, but what was she saying? Somebody noticed that as well, that she did color code the days of the week. What was she saying when she was stopping? Because there were times when she had to stop. This was not a class that was just a whole bunch of well-behaved children. They're kids. That she said, it's my turn. It's my turn. It's my turn. She kept stopping. What else did she say to them when she stopped? Samantha put, I need 100%. And she meant that. And I think the kids knew that she meant that. I need 100%. And it's my turn. And she would not go on. She did keep saying, listen, friends. She wasn't going to try to talk over them. And she didn't pretend, like I do see a lot of people sometimes just pretend like things are not happening. She didn't pretend like the students were not doing what they were, like they weren't on task. She stopped and called them out on it. She looked them dead in the eye and said, it's my turn. And I need 100%. And she did tell one little girl, some of the kids, I owe you, you're doing well. So she set up that procedure, those routines, those expectations of when I'm talking, you're not talking, and you're going to give me 100%. And when you do that, there is something for you. She did challenge them, and she maintains expectations. So great comments. That is, again, that was a short video clip, and it's not easy to do what she did. As you all know, you're in the class with children all day long. But even in this short amount of time, she is commanding her classroom. This is my classroom. It's 100%. You're going to listen when I'm talking. And she's also navigating that virtual piece, which I thought was really, really impressive for her. What tools, that brings us to our next question. What tools did she use in order to monitor her student work? How did she monitor student work? Somebody said Zoom whiteboard. She did put some things in Nearpod. She did some Nearpod things. She drew it in Nearpod. And I think, Linda, you have it right on the money. All she did, really, she did put the things in Nearpod, but all she did was share her screen. So everybody at home, everybody in face-to-face they were able to see what she was doing. She did utilize Nearpod activities. What if she didn't have Nearpod? What if she was just one of those teachers who did not have access to a Nearpod? She could use the smartboard. What else? I think somebody said it earlier. Cami. She could have done Cami. Elmo. Perfect. They could talk.
Promethean board.
Promethean board. Yep. All of those things. All of those things. The Zoom whiteboard that we used earlier, and I'm going to again go back to that and make sure everybody knows where that is and how to get there. But she could have done so many things. I think Nearpod was really fancy because she could see it all at one time. But even if all she had was an Elmo, she could model on the Elmo. I don't know if she could see their work coming from the Elmo. That's true. But if she put it on a Zoom whiteboard or she put it in something in Cami, she could have done several different things that she could see their work. All right. Now that brings us, we're going to come down to think about her class in terms of what are some things that she could have done to enhance the students' experiences. It did take them 7 minutes to log in, and that's something you know, we don't want it to take that long, but she was, again, early in the school year. But what are some things that she could do that would make her lesson even better? She could have done some icebreakers with the students. She did kind of jump in. You can tell, like, she jumped in first day, literally hammering those routines and procedures. Share some good news while they were logging in. I like that. Share the work with each other. Do some kind of matching game. I'm writing this down for her. Some matching game, because she did ask for this. Play music. So any kind of do now. If the students had a do now. Now these are our little ones coming from kindergarten. So they don't necessarily know how to write or anything like that, but they could have drawn a picture, any of those things, while she was waiting on some of the virtual students until they got used to logging in. I would love to go back, and I told her I'm going to go back and see where they are now, because they've had a few weeks since then. And so I definitely want to go back and video where they are now. I know Patisse made that suggestion. They could get up and dance the Wiggles out. They could do that as they're waiting on their virtual friends. Okay, I think we've gotten some great feedback for her. I think she's going to be excited to have it. And I appreciate you guys. But what I hope that you got from that is, one, the expectation is not that everybody is perfect. It's not that she, you know, she was doing some basic things. So I don't know where you are in your learning right now, or where you are with your classes. You guys are obviously all new teachers, but just know that those small wins are important. And the things that you're struggling with your students are not unusual. But you did start, those of you who are just starting this year, you did start in a very unusual year. And some of the tools that we're having to learn to use now, we've never had to do that before. So I just want to leave you with that. And again, we didn't want to bring an exemplar where this is a 30-year teacher who's doing all of these things and then make it seem like it's so far away. We wanted to bring a real teacher who's really trying to make it work and doing a great job, and hope that you can take some of the things that she's done and then also offer her some feedback so that we can all grow together. So I would ask you this one last question. What resonated with you today? We talked about the district goals. We talked about a few tools, and then I'll go back and show you how to, some of you had the question about the whiteboard, how to do that. But what resonated to you today about Ms. Johnson's class? And you can just throw that in the chat. Yeah, organization, enthusiasm, energy. Good. She's going to love to hear all of this, because I think she's definitely working very hard. Love it. All right. Somebody said calmness. I think that really impressed me about her as well, is she didn't really get rattled. It's the 4th day of school. You've got 5 district office people in your room, and you're being videoed, and you're trying to navigate all of these new virtual tools. And she just kind of went, you know what? This is my classroom. It is what it is. And I'm just going to ask for some feedback and make sure that I'm continuing to hone my craft, which is what we all would expect. So I appreciate you guys today. If you would like, Cassie, do you want to, as far as some of the tools that they're asking for, the Zoom Chime, maybe the Zoom whiteboard, I bet we could just put together a little collection of videos like Zoom how-tos. Absolutely. And that might be easier, and just send out those links to Zoom how-tos if that would be more helpful.
Yeah, I can see us. One of the things we're going to talk about a little bit is teacher technology, their YouTube page. So that may be something I send them, that they can add those things, and especially the Screencastify, maybe of how to do the annotation, because I know some people were questioning about that.
Okay, so, yeah. If you'll just send me a list, rather than, because I don't want to take up everybody's time today. Again, I just wanted to come in quickly and say, we understand where we are. We know everybody's stressed, but we also have a realistic view of the fact that everybody's learning right now. And so all we can ask is that we keep moving forward. You guys keep learning, uplift each other, keep coming together, and make sure you find a friend when you're having a day that it just feels like you're overwhelmed. Even if that's just sending an email. You all have my email address. Email me and say, hey, I'm having a bad day. I need help. I'll definitely see if I can find you some tools. So I appreciate you guys having me and letting me share Shyla's struggles as well, and highlight her and just do a shout out for her because she's awesome and she's gotten so many things going on. All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys. We'll get you those links to the how-tos for, and Cassie will get me that list and we'll make sure that we get those out to you tomorrow.
Absolutely. We will do that. Thank you so much, Angela. We appreciate you. I'm gonna get back to my screen and share. Here we go. All right. So everybody should be seeing my screen now. Awesome. And thank you for continuing to do the chat. So to continue on with our hot topics, one of the things that a lot of y'all were asking were just very specific questions. And if you were on the New Teacher Summit page, we actually had a FAQ that we uploaded. We've had it running for a little while, but it's through our Teach Cato page. And I just want to show you really quick. When you go to the Teach Cato page and you go to the New Teacher Summit, this is what this page is. This kind of looks familiar. There is an FAQ, and on that FAQ page, there are all kinds. If we added, as y'all ask us questions, we just keep adding to it because, of course, you're thinking of questions that we hadn't thought of, and we add it here. So having trouble with different things, how do you get a badge? How do you find your employee number? I mean, just all kinds of things. One of the biggest things, and Sunny talked about it last month, was the who does that we talked about. And that list is right here. And it's the who does what. I know I have a bunch of tabs. I had them already open just in case my internet got wonky. So I've got it open twice now. Look at me, just the spinning wheel of death. There we go. And that is not the video. Okay, here we go. This is why I had them all open. Okay, so there's a who does that list. So anything pretty much going with technology, if you have a problem with ASOP, getting a substitute teacher, if you have an issue with ClassLink, if you have Google issues, if you have Kickup issues, anything that has to do with technology pretty much is going to be on this. If you have a problem with your phone that's in your classroom, there's a person on here that you can contact. Email address, their phone number, anything like that. So this is a great resource, and I would probably bet some money on this if I was a gambling woman, but you probably are one of the few at your school that know about this list. This list is pretty new, and you might be able to impress some veteran teachers at your school by sharing this information, because it is not, most of these people, it's not well known that this is out there yet. So something I would encourage you to share and have some information about. The Teacher Technology YouTube page, I have that tab already open, so I'm not going to worry with that. But in the link, you will have this PowerPoint, so you'll have all these hyperlinks as well. But there is a Cato Teacher Tech YouTube page. And just like Angela and I were discussing earlier about getting some short snippet videos of how to do certain things, they've already started that here. So with your Google account with Cato Schools, you have access to YouTube, and subscribe to them. Just click subscribe, and anytime they upload new ones, you can get a notification. You can do all kinds of things with that. So make sure that you're using these resources. And if there is something that you want, email them and request it. Say, can y'all upload a video on how to, annotate so that we know how to do it? The next question is, what is the gray box? And Patisse is sitting beside me and she's giggling. I went too fast. I double clicked. This is a gray box. If you are at your school, usually it's in the area about where either your school boxes are, that you get your mail, you're next to your secretary or your bookkeeper, but you've probably seen a box like this somewhere on your campus. This is inter-office mail. So like if I want to send something to you, instead of putting a stamp on it and mailing it through the snail mail, I can do it by a gray box. Most of you probably got something from us already, and you didn't know it came from this gray box because somebody at your school put it in your little wooden box in your probably your lounge or near the office. If there's ever anything that somebody says, hey, I'm going to gray box you something, or can you gray box me your professional leave form? This is the box that it goes in. And once or twice a week, someone from the district goes around, and they are our mail people, and they take the box to the district office. It's distributed. Even if it's going from one school to another, it all comes to the central place, just like a post office, and they distribute the mail. So I want you to understand, we did have that fabulous gray box that you may have seen that is truly a mailbox at the school board office. That was used when we dropped off our insurance and retirement and stuff. We're working on getting that painted, fingers crossed, hopefully it'll be painted soon. But this is the actual gray box that every school site has and can utilize. So this is if you ever need to send somebody something that's not on your campus, and you don't want to drive across town or put it in the snail mail, just stick it in a gray box and you'll be able to get them that information. Now we're going to take a small commercial break. We want to say special thanks to Larry P. Boiling Pot. He is one of our community sponsors, and we are so thankful. We had a lot of people that are community that have donated some great door prizes and stuff. And if you haven't been to Larry's Boiling Pot, where's he?
The best snow cones.
Where he is
He is across from C. Bickham Dixon Park, right there where they have the Ellis Pottery
remote location.
Remote location. He's a red food truck.
His boiled shrimp is the best, and I know boiled shrimp. So,
all right.
Yes.
So, while we're taking just a little bit of a break, in the chat box, I need you to vote for me really quick. I'm curious, thinking about Halloween coming up, because all those big bags of candy that they're waiting for me to grab my little miniatures of. Are you a chocolate or not a chocolate person? Just type in the chat box, chocolate or not chocolate. You can even put C or NC if you want to do it really fast. Patisse is going to be kind of tabulating and see. Are we chocolate?
We are chocolate.
Okay, teachers are chocolate people. I mean, we are. Okay, so we're seeing a trend here. The majority of us are chocolate, so get your chocolate brain on.
Except for all of it people.
Yes, all of the above. We had to pick one. So, of all the chocolate candy out there that is just tempting and taunting us, what is your favorite chocolate candy especially around Halloween? So just in the chat box, type us really quick. What is your favorite kind? Patisse is gonna.
I'm looking. Give me a second.
Getting some trends.
Snickers for sure.
Okay. So we have our top three choices. We have Snickers. Oh, let me spell it right. What's the next one?
M&Ms. We'll just M&Ms.
We're not. Oh, I may need to go down to 2. M&Ms, and that can be peanut, plain,
Yeah.
any of the variety. Have y'all tried the
And
variety
then-
pack yet? Oh, I love them. Can't wait. What's the next? Another
Um,
chocolate one. Doesn't have to be scientific.
Miss Simon, I agree. I feel your pain. Let's do peanut butter cups.
Okay, so
Reese's peanut butter cups.
Reese's.
PB cups.
Okay, it's apostrophe S, isn't it?
Sheena put she's diabetic.
Okay, so you are my people because at least 2 of them have peanut butter or peanuts in them, and I am loving me some chocolate and peanut butter. Patisse does not like it at all, and I can't imagine that we're still friends with that.
I
So,
like it.
Yeah, M&Ms, you can put peanuts in that. So, I mean, all 3 of those, that's the trifecta of yumminess. So and I would hate to say this, but like, if you only had to pick one of these 3, only one, and that's the only thing that everybody would put in your Halloween bucket for trick or treat this year. Would it be number 1, Snickers, number 2, M&Ms, or number 3, Reese's peanut butter cups? Just 1, 2, or 3. Put us in the chat really quick. We're seeing a trend. Everybody's voting. Patisse. Getting it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're going to get the statistics of what the winner is going to be, and we will come back to that. But that is our little coffee break, coffee snack. So Patisse is going to find out, and the person that said the top choice is actually going to win a gift card to Larry's Boiling Pot.
The first person that said it.
The first person that said Snickers
Trey
was Trey Wynn. So Trey Wynn, you have won a $10 gift card to Larry P's Boiling Pot. We will be getting that to you within the next week or so. So yay, congratulations. Yay, Trey Wynn. First person to say Snickers. So all
I
right.
have a question related to this.
Okay.
Where can I find that full list again?
The full list of different candies.
Oh no, of all the sponsors.
Oh, on the new teacher page.
I was hunting for it. I wanted to go flash my card and get a discount the other day, and
Absolutely.
couldn't
go
figure out.
Yeah, we'll go back and I'll show y'all where that is on the Teach Caddo page really quick. If you go to Teach Caddo, and I believe it was it resources? Ooh. No, it's not resources. It's got to be new Caddo.
Mm-hmm. New Teacher Summit.
New Teacher Summit.
And then scroll down. Should be there.
It was the PDF. We'll find it and come back to you because Patisse is going to investigate while I continue on because your time is valuable, and we will get it back to you.
I'm next.
Oh, well, Patisse is next. So Patisse is going to present our next. We did our Snickers, yay. Okay, so Patisse is
All
going.
right, so I have my computer muted because we are in the same room with each other. So can you give Cassie a thumbs up and let her know, am I okay with sound or okay? If I get too loud, somebody, kind of do the quiet signal to tell me to be quiet because I am loud. I yell at the computer. So Harry Wong, we did the book study and you completed your pages and turned it in, and hopefully you're following those up at your school. But I want to point out something, and Miss Henry hit on it when she was talking, and I want to, oh gosh, your mouse will not move the stuff out of my, okay, here, I'll take it.
Okay.
but I was just moving.
She's
it so I
using
could
my
read it.
mouse trying to bid
Yeah,
on her
trying to-
computer.
So I want to talk about Unit C, pages 129. I'm not going to read that to you, but I want to kind of point some things out. We are moving toward fall break, and that is a great time for us. In case you weren't calculating, you have 6 days until fall break. And I know you're looking forward to it, to rest and to rejuvenate. So there's a couple things I want to talk about on the front end of fall break. As not only Cassie and I, but other folks, Phaedra and Jessica, who are on here, along with the content folks, as we've been visiting classrooms. Remember that, and I know that we are 30 days into school, that starting class, students need to get to work. And I know it's difficult having your face-to-face kids and having your virtual kids, and you're having to kind of get the virtual kids on, signed in. But even in the video that we just saw, the face-to-face kids had something to do while she was letting in her virtual kids. You know, they need to be able to get to work as soon as those kids come in. Middle school folks on here, my high school folks on here, when those kids transition to you and they come into your classroom, they don't need to be sitting there just staring at you, waiting while you're going, hold on guys, let me get everybody up here on virtual. There needs to be some work. And, you know, that kind of goes to the importance of posting your agenda. If you have your agenda on your whiteboard, on your screen, when you're using your, having your virtual kids there too, they know what's going on. And a do now, you may have heard some of things like a do now in any other professional development trainings, but a do now is exactly that. It is a to do now when you come into classroom. You may hear things like you know, when they come in, your kids sit down, something for your kids to do right then while you can take care of the other things. It might be, what were your top 3 points from yesterday's lesson? Or what was the favorite part of chapter 3 in your story? It may be a math problem to work forward to get them ready for the learning that they're fixing to do. There are examples in your Harry Wong book of agendas and assignments, and I went ahead and tagged the pages in there for you to look at. So if you have it, because I understand, you know, the famous saying, when the dust settles, and I understand right now we have been in a dust storm, but we are 6 weeks into school, and hopefully for most of us, the dust is starting to settle. So as you look at, okay, dust is starting to settle, I might have this for the next 150 days. Let me see how I can improve. I want to tag the pages in here for you so that you can look at those. Which clicker do I click? Okay. One of my most favorite quotes is this. Now, Harry Wong and Fred Jones are friends. Okay. Harry Wong does the classroom management book. Fred Jones also does a classroom management book, but he talks about the brain version of it. But it's one of my favorite quotes, and I use it and say it all the time. Teachers with the best run classrooms spend the first 2 weeks teaching procedures and routines, do it right or do it all year long. So I'm going to say this right now. We are 30 days into school, and some of you have had extremely small classes. My middle school and high school folks that are listening to me right now, your middle school kids are coming back next week. Our high school kids are coming back right after fall break. My elementary folks, a lot of you have had, your class size has doubled since the start of school because some of your virtual folks are coming back. So really, after fall break, it would not surprise me, even my elementary folks, if you even see another surge of elementary folks coming from digital learning back into the classroom. So with that being said, if you've struggled with classroom management with 6 kids in your classroom, we're really going to struggle when you got 26 kids in your classroom. So Unit 3 or Unit C in Harry Wong is about classroom management. It is about your rules and your procedures. One of the the little pictures of all of us are in, I can't read my screen. I wanted to share you, I put the pages here. There are 3 C's that Harry Wong talks about in his book: coherency, continuity, and consistency. And it boils down to this. Coherency is the result of when procedures are in place to help things proceed and advance in a logical way. Okay, so you want things to proceed. Once they start to proceed, we move into continuity. And this is things advancing and proceeding over time. Yes, you're going to teach your rules and procedures at the beginning. Over time, they're going to become a part of your students' daily behavior. And then the last part is consistency. And that is your results when procedures are in place and it takes, and learning continues in a logical sequence. All right, so I'm gonna tell on myself. I mean, it's it's not unknown. I have been out of the classroom for a while, but I work with teachers in classroom management quite a bit. And I would tell you, one of the things that I did wrong, first of all, in the beginning, I didn't, and for a long time, I didn't understand the difference between a rule and a procedure. Okay. And a lot of times I had procedures listed as a rule, you know, because whether I went through a regular program or an alternate start program, you always said rules and procedures together, and I didn't really understand the difference. Okay. And so when I talk about rules, by definition, rules are this: they are regulations that dictate conduct or action. They are governed by authority. That's you. And a rule, in Harry Wong's book, I quote, "A rule is a dare to be broken. A procedure is not." So as somebody that loved middle school kids, a rule is a dare to be broken. I get that. Okay. And a procedure is not. An example would be, you must stay in your seat. That was one of my rules. Okay. Another rule was you had to have permission to sharpen your pencil. Well, I was my worst enemy. Most of the time in my years of working with new teachers, or with teachers in general, I'm going to take new out, with teachers in general, 80 to 85% of the time, the teacher is what's causing the classroom management problem in her classroom, because you're not following the rules and procedures you have in place. Prime example: had to stay in your seat. You had to ask permission to sharpen your pencil. Well, what was happening was kids were getting up and sharpening their pencil, and I wasn't getting onto them. And then Larry would get up and he'd get yelled at, or Sally would get up and she'd get yelled at, but not Mo and Curly and Susie and whoever else. And so I wasn't consistent with my rule. Well, really what that needed to be was a procedure. And so the procedure needed to be, you cannot get up and sharpen your pencil while teaching is going on. That's what was bugging me. I was getting mad and angry and getting on certain kids, but not on all kids. I was getting upset with the ones that would get up when I was in the middle of teaching and thought that would be a good time to sharpen their pencil. I know some of you are nodding and can agree with that. So really, I had it messed up. The procedure was, you can't get out of your seat while I'm teaching. And so that's what, I changed it. So when you go back into your room over the next 6 days, I want you to really think about, you should have them posted virtually and in your room. Look at what you have going on. If something is not working for you, then fix it. All right. because you got to have rules, you're going to have procedures, and eventually they become routines. Okay. So by definition, before I leave procedure, let me say this to you. A procedure by definition in Harry Wong is something to do. It's a step forward. Okay. It's not that willfulness of trying to break it like the rule. Okay. All routines are procedures that students have learned to do automatically. It might be passing their papers up and you collect them off the front of the row, or to the side and you collect them off the side of the road, side of the classroom. But think about this. You have 6 days until fall break. So think about what needs to be changed. Oh, wrong clicker. Did I click the right clicker?
Are we changing to the next?
Yeah. Okay. And think about what needs to be reset. Okay. You're the teacher. The great thing about being the teacher is you can change your rules and procedures at any given time. Because what you thought you might need in August may not be what you need in October. And if it's not, figure out what you need to change now, prep it, and when the kids come back after fall break, that's when you're going to teach your rules and procedures. Now, let me kind of put a little asterisk right here. My middle school friends that are going to get a whole bunch of kids on Monday, put in your lesson plans that you're teaching your rules and procedures, and start back over and teach them next week. When you go home for fall break, enjoy your fall break. And when kids come back after fall break, you're going to teach them again, because you're going to be away from school for more than a day or two. If we ever get to have trainings face-to-face again, and maybe you're out of the classroom for a couple of days because you have to go to a training, or maybe you're going to be on a Zoom training between now and then. If you're out of your classroom for a day or two, you need to put in your lesson plans to reteach your rules and procedures. Always reset after a break or an extended absence by you. There was something else I was going to say that I forgot, just left my brain. So with that, please, please, please think about your classroom. Oh, now I remember. On Friday, I know you're going to want to race the children out of the school building. Next Friday, you're going to want to race them to the out of the building because fall break starts. Do not leave your school until everything's ready to roll for at least Thursday after break. Okay, which means if you have to have copies of anything, if you need to have notes or change your seating arrangement or things written on your whiteboard, anything, you leave your room set as if you were going to come back the next morning ready to roll. If you are lucky enough to have a very morning, early first period planning, leave everything set, because if it can go wrong, it will go wrong the very beginning, the day after a holiday break. The copier will be broken, it'll be jammed, whatever. Your technology's not working. So have your plan A and have your plan B. But do not leave that Friday until everything is set. All right. I think I'm done preaching. Let me check the chat real quick if I can figure out which.
Give me my mouse.
All right.
All right. So as we continue on, one of our areas that we really like to focus on is our new teachers. With our new teachers is the NIET rubric, and we like to make sure that you're aware of everything that's going on and just the different components of that. I have a link here for the entire rubric, And mainly what we're going to talk about today is the questioning component of that rubric, because as a teacher, you're so worried about getting that information out that a lot of times we don't always stop and ask those clarifying questions and of things that we need to make sure. So looking at this part of the rubric, we're really, remember, just because there's 3 columns and we're all teachers, we're all overachievers, we always want to get a 5, but a 5 is not somewhere where you can stay and live every day, all day long. Our goal is to stay in the 3s. We're going to stay in the middle. We're going to meet our expectations. So just looking at this part of the rubric, the first bullet in the center, teacher questions are varied and high quality, providing for some but not all question types. So we all know that there are levels of questioning. We can say, what color is this? And if they say red, we know that they know the color red. And that's just a knowledge-based question. But if we ask them to interpret something or give their opinions or compare and contrast 2 different things or analyze something, we're raising that level of questioning up. Some of you may or may not have heard of Bloom's taxonomy, and that is a component of a very rich tool that we have used for years and years and years. And I've got 3 links for the different types of questioning. The first is 20 Bloom's question cues. And these are some great resources that you can actually use because, and I use them to this day. And of course, I'm going to get the spinning wheel again, even though I pulled them up. But the first one is the 20 Bloom question cues. And what this great resource is it breaks apart Bloom's taxonomy for the different levels of questioning. And it gives you those question stems so that you can kind of begin your question and kind of give you a prompt of a way to embed those questions into your classroom to get your students not only to think, but to discuss and have them discuss with each other and really think about the learning that they are having and not just regurgitating and giving you answers and all, but having them think about their thinking. The second component one was Bloom's in your classroom. And I have that one pulled up, of course, the spinning wheel. Tell Finley to go on. So this PDF is spinning around. And it is a great tool as well because it breaks apart not only ways to use it in your classroom, but alternative ways to use it with your assessment. So you can actually use this and different looking at your assessment. You don't want to do it all by knowledge. You want to see how they assess it, how they can create and evaluate their own learning. The last example I have for Bloom's is spinning. And this is the one that, I mean, I even remember using this in college. I had this exact form. I think it was laminated and just at the beginning of my lesson plan book. But knowing that knowledge all the way to evaluation, having those different verbs to help me know these are action things that I want my students to do to bump up the rigor of my questions and their ability to answer and think about their thinking and their learning. So we've included these 3 resources for you as we're focusing on questioning this month, just to make you start thinking about. And one of the things that I want to point out, and Patisse may want to actually give this example since it is hers. So do you want to do your Post-it note example?
Oh my gosh. Okay. You know, I'm old. I'm the oldest dog on the screen here. You know, I had to teach with an overhead, if that tells you anything. So I will say this, I loved Post-it notes. I am the Post-it note queen. My students gave me Post-it notes, and here's the thing, the sheets that she just showed you, especially the last one, it stayed laminated in the front of my lesson plan book I had one laminated on my podium in my classroom, and I had one laminated by my computer when we finally got computers. Okay. But as I wrote my lesson plans, I actually had to write them. When I wrote my lesson plans or printed my lesson plans and annotated my lesson plans, I would write the questions, the Bloom's questions that I wanted to ask, and I would take them and stick them where I would be. So like if I was circulating around my room, I would know that when I do, I was a science teacher, that I stood at this one spot. I would put those 3 or 4 sticky notes right there of those higher level questions that I wanted to ask. Because can you click on that last one?
Yeah.
Okay, so by human nature, we do knowledge and comprehension without thinking about it. We are educated adults, even application. But anything really application and higher, we do not do innately, okay? Because we are so concerned at making sure we communicate to whatever age group we have, we really don't use that verbiage in analysis on up or application on up as much. And so I would write the questions I wanted to ask and have them. And at the end of the day, I took all my sticky notes and put them on my lesson plan page. You could go into the room of death, and that's what I called it because I swear there was going to be a body buried way back in the back, and pull my lesson plan books up, and sticky notes would fall out of the bottom of my lesson plan books because we had to turn in our lesson plan. Every day I had sticky notes on my lesson plan book. So now your lessons are a little more scripted, but you do want to ask those deep dive questions. Put them on a sticky note because the people that are coming in to evaluate you, they're going to look at the verbiage you use. So I could say, could you predict what would happen next in the story? That's application. Well, don't say, oh, I teach little people. I can't do analysis and synthesis. Oh, yes, you can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So instead of saying, could you predict what's going to happen next in the story? It might be something, could you illustrate what you think might happen next in the story? And I'm just kind of, or could you explain, or could you describe? I mean, there are different words, and it makes us nervous when people walk in our room. So you're going to have adrenaline going because your principal's sitting back there. You're going to stay with knowledge and comprehension and not go to that unless you script for it. So it's a great habit to get into. Whether you use a sticky note or a piece of paper. At the end of slide 4 of my presentation, I'm asking questions 1 and 2. At the end of slide 8, I'm asking, 3, 4, 5, and just to kind of help.
Awesome. Thank you, Patisse. All right.
I'll work yours then.
We have been doing a lot of talking.
Okay.
Okay. Really quick, this slide is very similar to the slide from last month because I wanted to reiterate really quick just some housekeeping things as y'all are adjusting and getting in with Cato. If when you signed up for KickUp to do all of your training, if you are still logging into KickUp with your personal email account, please email Sunny so that she can associate your Cato email address. That will help for years to come until when you're in Cato and you need it will just be easier. So just shoot her a quick email and say, hey, can you associate my Gmail account with my Cato on KickUp? And she can fix that. Another thing a lot of y'all were asking about this is still kind of a hot topic that y'all were asking when we surveyed you, were some of the PD. And we went and actually talked to Angela about this, and she shared these 2 hyperlinks. The summer PD, if you attended that, the focus that was given at that point was on what am I supposed to be teaching? So if you click on this link, it will take you to the web page, which lists every PD that is available with KickUp for the summer. I'm just going to do elementary. It still says summer learning is here, but it will list all of the summer PD, and you click on it if the spinning wheel will finish, and it will tell you when it was, how you can register for it, the virtuals, everything there. This is the content part. The phase 2 is the what and how am I supposed to be teaching virtually? So any of the fall PD that we have going on in Kick Up right now will take you to this page. And this is the fall professional development. You simply click on your whatever area is best for you, same format. There are hyperlinks in here. It takes you straight to the training. Now you're going, okay, Cassie, I have to find this PowerPoint. I have to link it and all. No, you don't. If you go to the Caddo Parish website right here, just like you do when you go to get your email, if you go to staff, I mean, y'all, okay. You see where it says staff email login? This is where you click to check your email. The button right below it, 2020 professional development opportunities. If I click that, it takes me to this, and I'm not sure why it does this, but this is the way they've done it. I click there, and it takes me to the fall professional development. You can still see all this in Kick Up, but this has it all condensed just specifically for your needs. So you don't have to hunt per day or type in words to search. So I wanted to make sure you knew about this resource and how to access it. So mentor updates. This is a little bit of house cleaning that we want to make sure. If you are in an alternative certification program and on a practitioner's license right now, for the very first time this year, on top of everything else that's brand new this year, the Bessie and Louisiana Department of Ed has instilled a new policy. And you should be assigned a mentor teacher on your campus. Everybody is supposed to be, if you are on a PL for the first time this year, you should have a mentor on your campus that's working with you. Every week, you should be receiving a minimum of 5 hours a week of support. Now, that support can be in lots of different ways, and it does not all have to be from that mentor, but that mentor should be helping to establish that support. You can be getting your PLCs that you're doing with your grade levels. You might be doing some observations or help me with my verbiage. Co-teaching, thank you. Co-teaching with somebody. They may be coming in and modeling a lesson for you and then having you do it again. It might be working with, having somebody come in and work with you as you do a parent conference through a Zoom. I mean, it can be a variety of things, and I only listed a few, but that support is going to be there. Your mentor may have other teachers that have a PL license at your school, because it's a team effort anyway. So that's why it says they're only a typical of 3-to-1 ratio, because there may be 3 PL teachers on a campus, and there might be 1 certified mentor at that campus to help facilitate. We're trying to get it to a 1-to-1 so that you have that undivided attention, but at some campuses, it may not be that way. I think as of right now, we are still 1-to-1. So we're very lucky with that.
So Cassie, let me ask, and let me ask for clarity. All right. So I'm a brand new teacher. I graduated from, whatever XYZ university with a education degree. This is my first year teaching. Will I have a mentor? Will I participate in this?
No.
I am in an alternate certification program, meaning I am working on getting my education certificate, or I'm going through a college master's program to end up with my teaching degree. Will I have a mentor?
Yes, if it's your very first year of teaching. If it's your second year of teaching, or you started teaching in January or any time in the 1920 school year, no. You had to get your PL on or before in the September timeframe, anytime from July on. you got your first PL license, you should have a mentor. If for some reason you don't have a mentor yet, or you don't know who yours is, please email teachcato@catoschools.org immediately so that we can figure out who it is, because at the end of this first year, we, including you sign off, the mentor signs off, the principal signs off, and someone from HR has to sign off saying that you received this support in order for you to continue with your license. We want to make sure that you are getting the support you need, that we are following state policies for you to be able to get your certificate. So we want to make sure that you know about this and that you can help take care of you achieving your goals of finishing your certification program effectively. Plus, you're getting the support you need at your school.
The Teach Cato at catoschools.org comes to Cassie and I, okay? Cassie has a spreadsheet. We know we should be able to tell anybody that emails us tonight, hey, I don't know who my mentor is. We know because it's been turned in by your school to us, and it is on a beautifully colored spreadsheet that Cassie has spent a lot of time working on. But what we have found when we've talked to some people, that the mentee did not know Sally Sue is their mentor, or it just didn't trickle down enough. So we want to make sure that you know. So if you're wondering where am I emailing, that's just a work email for Cassie and I. It comes to us. Cassie can pull up, and I can pull up her spreadsheet. I can say, look, Cassie Harwell's mentor should be Patisse Davis Hardy, and I can tell you that, or Cassie can. So if you don't know, please reach out to us.
All right, a couple of announcements. Middle school students will report back Monday. So as Patisse said earlier, make sure we're, resetting and going over rules and expectations for them. If you didn't know, fall break is October 12th through the 14th. I'm sure everyone here, that's brand new news. You did not know that was coming. High school students are going to start back on the 19th. So if you're a high school teacher, I know you're getting prepared for them as well. The end of the first 9 weeks is October 22nd. Can y'all believe it? October 22nd, you will be 1/4 of the way through your first year of teaching. How awesome is that? And then October 23rd is going to be Cato PD Day. Angela had talked about sharing some information with you about that, and we will probably be emailing y'all some information regarding that. It's going to be a wide variety of different things. I'm not really sure if they've got the schedule out, but I know they're working on it, and we will share that. I will send it through a reminder as soon as I know about that. So we're trying something new this time as far as getting ideas for hot topics. So if I'm going to put a link to this page, but it is the November hot topics. And if you, I'm going to put it in the chat, and I am going to ask you if you will please type in some different areas of topics that you think, and I want it typed in this form. I want you to type in some different ways or topics that you think would be helpful for us to cover in November. Now, if you see somebody has typed something that you agree with, put an asterisk beside it. That way, if we know it's got multiple asterisks, that is a really hot topic. If it doesn't have a lot of hot asterisks beside it, maybe it's something that just 1 or 2 people are wanting to know. So I'm going to leave that, and y'all can feel free to fill it out as we are going. I'm not going to sit here and watch you. The link, Amy, the link is in the chat box. Oh, thanks. You got it. Okay. So please feel free to fill that out. It's accessible to everyone. And just remember, if you see a repeat, just asterisk beside it. You don't have to type it again.
Anonymous turtle.
I know they don't sign into Google. Remember, sign into Google. It makes your life a lot easier if you're signed in with your Google account. Another thing I wanted to talk about on the resources page, There is a, in the Teach Caddo, through, if you go to resources for links and resources, September's video for our CSI is there, as well as the slide deck. I'm hoping by tomorrow I will have this video uploaded and the link will be here as well as the slide deck for you to be able to access all of the hyperlinks. So if you want to, over fall break or something, type in some hot topics and go back and revisit this entire wonderful experience tonight. Again, you can go there or share it with some friends that weren't able to come tonight. Really quick, do we have anybody that has any questions or comments regarding anything? I think your November hot topic sheet would be a great place for any of this. If you've got questions, please feel free to put them there. I do want to remind you that, and the link will take you on the resources page, but we do have a Teach Caddo YouTube channel. If you just go to YouTube and you type in Teach Caddo, it'll take you straight to it. We put all of our resources there. We have some great videos and things like that, and we're constantly adding that to them. But nobody's putting a chat question in. I'm hoping y'all are putting it in your November hot topics. Our last slide, this is our last little commercial before we close out. We do want to thank El Compadre Mexican Restaurant. I don't know if y'all have ever been there. It is a wonderful Mexican restaurant on Kings Highway, and they actually were a great community sponsor. They donated multiple gift cards, and we actually have a $50 gift card to give out tonight. And I'm going to just show you another little tech tool that's just super easy if you want to use it in your classroom. The link is down here, y'all. It's a Google app. I mean, it's a Google thing. It is a random number. We have a maximum, I think we had 35 people, correct?
Yeah.
35 people in our room, in our group tonight. And so I've already filtered this here, and look, y'all, I just typed in random number generator and got to this in Google. So I'm going to generate a number. Batiste has got it ready. She's got the list of everybody that signed up, and I hit generate, and number 27. All right. 10 is going to win a $50 gift card to El Compadre, number 27. And she's still counting. Of course, it wasn't going to give me a low number.
Logan Satoon.
Logan Satoon, congratulations. You won a $50 gift card to El Compadre.
This is the greatest moment of my life. Oh my gosh.
Logan,
I never win anything.
Logan, I'm going to gray box it to you.
Thank you. I know about the gray box now.
Yay, wonderful. Well, congratulations.
Not the mailbox where you put your insurance stuff in.
No, even though that one is great, we're trying to get it painted blue.
Oh, good.
I agree, Amy. I agree.
All right. Just a real quick reminder, our next meeting will be Thursday, November 5th at 5 o'clock via Zoom. You can register on KickUp. I kind of like the fact that I could share that link with y'all ahead of time to get the handout. I hope that was helpful, as well as just send reminders. Encourage some of your friends to come if they're new teachers at your school. And we would love for them to join us. The more the merrier, the more we can pick each other's brains and also find out that we are not the only ones out there struggling with all of this.
Just questions we need to ask.
Okay, we have some questions.
Okay. Byron asked, when do we get insurance cards? It'll probably be the middle of next month. They will be mailed to you from Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Yeah, you'll get a big white envelope in the mail.
Big, huge, and a ton of cards. If you did dental, you'll get dental cards, you'll get health cards, and if you have a whole bunch of kids, like I have like 15. So
I think I got mine yesterday, and it came in a little envelope. Just
yeah, that's your directions of your providers and all of that.
Yeah, that'll come in a big envelope.
So that should be coming. I would expect. I'm sorry. I would expect them before the middle of the month, probably by the time fall break comes back. We will check with insurance, and we'll just shoot an email And so I'm gonna put in the chat my cell phone number. You know, I do have children, so if you call me after hours, I'll probably be yelling at somebody. But you're welcome to text, you're welcome to call. I'm also going to be home for fall break. I'm not going anywhere. And so, I mean, if you need help with some things or, you know, have questions or whatever, feel free to give me a call. Most of the time my phone's on silent because I wear my watch. If I take my watch off, sometimes it takes me a while to realize, oh, nobody's called me. And so text me and say, hey, this is, you know, Mary Poppins from Westwood. Give me a call. So I'll be happy to help. Same with Cassie, but I know I'm home for fall break, so I'll be happy to help if anybody needs anything.
And you can always email Teach Cato because I'm obsessive and I check my email 24/7. And so, yeah, feel free to do that. So we're gonna close out here. I'm gonna stop the recording because we're so, you know, glad that you came. If you are CTA, I need you to stick around. But